سبحان الله. يا الله. الله أكبر.
Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to the World of Islam, coming to you from Hollywood and Los Angeles, California, in the United States of America. From Denmark to China, from Australia to Argentina, from the USA to the UK, there are more than 1.5 billion Muslims in the world today. The religion of Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world, but unfortunately it's often misunderstood and misrepresented. So I invite you to join me and have the opportunity to know the truth about Islam and the truth about Muslims. You are now entering the world of Islam. And welcome back to the world of Islam. Our travels throughout the world of Islam have brought us to Mission Viejo in California in the United States of America. And alhamdulillah, I've come here to the Islamic Center of Mission Viejo, and I'm here with the Imam of the center, Imam Yasser Fazaka. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa barakatuh.
And thank you for inviting us to the masjid, and thank you for sitting down and taking some time to discuss Islam in America with us.
No problem. Thank you for coming.
Imam Yasser, before we begin, I'd like you to tell us a bit about your background and where your origins are and how you came to America.
I was born in Northeast Africa, and I grew up in the Sudan. I finished my elementary and my junior high school there. And I came to the States back in 1987, and I finished my high school here, and then I went to school. I did a little college initially after high school. And then Imam Saud University, luckily they had a branch that they just recently opened in Virginia back then. And I went and I joined there.
But let me ask you, I mean, what was your motivation to go there and join the Islamic University?
Well, initially what happened is when I came to the States, like most immigrants, or I say in my case at least, I grew up a Muslim simply because the rest of my family was a Muslim. I grew up in a Muslim place. So, it was something that we had taken for granted, did not necessarily appreciate as much simply because it was just part of your upbringing. So when I came here, I was confronted with so many questions, and I needed to make sense out of my beliefs. But I did not have these tools. I really did not know much about my own beliefs. And I said, if I am going to believe this, I might as well just, learn it. I mean, know it. Otherwise, it would be very hypocritical on my part to commit to it while I know very little about it.
Right.
So that was my initial motive for why I wanted to go to the university and study it at that level.
And mashallah, so once you got into university, did you really, these questions or things you wanted to find out about Islam, did they become more apparent to you?
I tell you what, that is one of the most beautiful experiences I've had in my life. I got exposed to how rich the Muslim library is. This is something that we know very little about. I got exposed to what are the real teachings of Islam. Because of what we know out there is, it may be adequate for the person to carry out their rituals, but that level of appreciation, it just requires so much knowledge, and the more you know, the more you appreciate. So my experience led me not only to answers that were convincing, but also I think more important, it was just growing into appreciating what it is that I'm involved in now.
So when you, how long were you in the university, and when you finished, how did you actually come back, return here, and become the Imam of this masjid?
Fortunately, I finished the university in very decent time, 3.5 to 4 years I finished. And then the minute I finished my schooling, I was offered a position to teach.
Well, was this your aspiration to teach or to be
teaching,
an
yes.
imam or something
Teaching,
like that?
yes, but not to be an imam, honestly speaking. So what ended up happening, I taught at the American Open University. And then I came down here to California because this is where my parents and my family lived. So when I came here, this masjid was just starting up, and they said, you know, now that you've studied, we need an imam for the masjid. So I said, well, you know, I'm going to do this temporarily until you get a real imam or somebody who wants to be an imam. And I thought this was going to be, you know, a temporary thing. And it's been 10 years since then.
MashaAllah.
So it's been a long 10 years.
Imam Yasser, just explain a bit about what it means to be an imam of a community here in America.
You know, it's a good question, because we come in, especially the immigrants amongst us, they come in with a specific impression of what an imam does. All I know about the imam is this is the person that led the prayers. The role of the imam in the community is very, very different here. You're not only the person that leads the prayers, but rather now you are a father figure for those who are young. You are a brother for those who are lonely. You are, you know, a brother to the entire community. You are asked to do lots of counseling. You are asked to do lots of outreach work. So your job is not, you're no longer the guy who's leading the rituals in the masjid, but you're going to academic circles to participate. You're going to interfaith activities to participate. And this requires multitasking, but now you also have to get yourself exposed to the right type of knowledge, so that when you go there, you do justice to the community.
So let me try to amplify the point just a little bit. Today, I mean, in America, the imam, he has to have more skills than just Islamic knowledge. He has to have skills to be able to deal with other challenges and things he might have to do or be required to help out with in the community.
By all means, and I would say that it's so difficult to acquire these challenges. I'll give you an example. In my own endeavor for wanting to represent my community, you know, the best way, I decided that the same way that we would ask people to learn about Islam, I said, well, I would like to learn about the other religions that are out there, so that when I ask people not to judge Islam by the acts of the few and learn more about Islam, I can say, and by the way, on my part, I am learning. So I ended up going to Loyola Marymount, a very famous Jesuit Catholic school, and I started studying. And I would be taking classes on New Testament, the Old Testament, hell and heaven in Judaism, Jewish mysticism, Zionism, introduction to the Bible, and all these classes, and attempt that the better informed I am, the better I am able to have a meaningful conversation with the people who are, you know, participate in interfaith activities. Similarly, also did psychotherapy training. We get lots of people here who have, you know, so many challenges, families who are challenged, youth, addiction, and you just name it.
But let me ask you, in traditional psychotherapy, you know, training, I guess there's no religious foundation to it. So do you find that coupled with Islamic knowledge makes it a bit more unique for someone to come to you for psychoanalysis or these kind of things?
You know, and that's the nice thing about all of this, and that is the training that I received is you get exposed to all the theories that are out there, and then you almost mold your own theory to best serve the clients that you see. In my case, my clients are Muslims. I am exposed to the training, and I know which part of the training to use with my Muslim clients, and that adds so much comfort to the people that come in here. Number one, they're seeing the imam, and they're seeing an imam who is better equipped because of the training that he has received as a counselor.
And when people, I mean, what type of counseling do you do besides psychotherapy? I mean, what kind of things did you have to sit down and counsel people on?
Well, there is a lot of, for example, let's say around this time, people are losing their jobs. So that is an invitation to stress, an invitation to depression. Some people would be suffering from anxiety, and that reflects on the family. It reflects on the marital relationship. It reflects on the father-son relationship. So now you're dealing with multi things. How is that affecting and impacting the children? What can you do to help a brother or help the sister that just lost their job?